very briefly আমরা লাস্ট যা করছি সেটারে আমরা একটু রিকল করি। So first we tried to understand consumption function and then saving function. Now what is this? Whenever আমরা ইকোনমিক্সে যখন আমরা ফাংশন দেখি, and that function means or that function stands for a mathematical or technical relation between variables. Now variables এখানে আমরা দু ধরনের বলি, one is called dependent variable and another is independent variable. Now which one is dependent variable? The variable which lies left side of equal to. That means আমরা এখানে equal to দিলাম, what we will write in the left side of that equal to is the dependent variable, and in the right side we are supposed to write the independent variable. Here if we talk about consumption function, here the dependent variable is C, which is consumption, which depends on function of income or which depends on income. Clear? That is how much a consumer will consume or how much from macroeconomics point of view, how much an economy will consume, an economy will spend depends on his level of income, that is national income. And both the variables are positively related, that is higher Y, higher C, lower Y, lower C. Now that consumption function is giving us two more concepts. One is APC, another is MPC. APC is nothing but the ratio of C and Y, that is C is to Y, that is consumption to income, that is out of total income, what is the intensity of an economy to consume. Out of total national income, what is the intensity of an economy to consume, but to spend. And MPC stands for change in consumption due to change in income. What is APC? Ratio of C and Y. What is MPC? Ratio of change in consumption due to change in income. And if we talk about the properties, the value of APC can be more than 1. The value of APC can be equals to 1. The value of APC can be less than 1. If the value of APC is more than 1, that is consumption in the economy is more than Y, in that case APS would be negative. In that case APS টা কি হবে? APS would be negative. Now if APC is equals to 1, that is C is equals to Y, in that case APS টা হবে 0. And that situation where C is equals to Y or APC is equals to 1 or APS is equal to 0 is called break-even point. Now what is break-even point? Break-even point is that point where consumption in the economy is equal to income, or break-even point is the point where APC is 1, or break-even point is the point where APS is 0. Fine? Clear? Now another situation where APC can be less than 1, in that case APS would be any positive value. APS এর একটা positive value থাকবে. Why this is so? Because we know in the economy APC plus APS is equals to 1 every time. Now if APC is the ratio of C and Y, APS is the ratio of savings to income. That is, suppose your income is 100, consumption is 80, in that case saving would be 20. Now here APC is 0.8 and APS is 0.2. If we add both, we will get 1. তার মানে every time in the economy this relation will persist. What relation? Average propensity to consume and average propensity to save is 1. APS এর ভ্যালু ভালো করে এখানে দেখবা, APC APS এর রিলেশনটা, because in the saving function derivation it is used. APS can be more than 1, it can be less than 1, it can be equals to 1, but never ever 0 or negative. APS, APC APC can never ever be 0 or negative. APS can be 0, APS can be negative, APS can have a positive value. Now, what is MPC? Just now I said the change in consumption due to change in income. Similarly, what is MPS? That is marginal propensity to save. MPS is nothing but change in savings due to change in income. Again, MPC and MPS is equals to 1. Moreover, MPC value always lies between 0 to 1. That is most important. MPC value 1 থেকে বেশি হবে না, APC হতে পারে, এভারেজের ভ্যালুটা হতে পারে, বাট MPC ভ্যালু 1 থেকে বেশি হবে না. MPC ভ্যালু lies between 0 to 1. At the same time, MPC value can never ever be negative. Now, MPC and MPS এর addition, what it will give us? It will give us 1. তো similarly আমরা যখন consumption ফাংশনে C and Y এর মধ্যে রিলেশন এস্টাবলিশ করি, in the same way in saving function the relation is established between S and Y. That is, saving is equals to function of income, and here also it is positively related. Higher income, higher level of savings, lower income, lower level of savings. Just like consumption and income, both these variables are positively related. The variable savings and income is also positively related. And other way you can say, যেহেতু তার মধ্যে একটা পজিটিভ রিলেশন, তাই তার সামেশনটা 1ই হয়। ক্লিয়ার? বিকজ একটা প্লাস হলে আমার একটা মাইনাস, নেগেটিভে থাকবে if it is more than 1. So all this about consumption and income, consumption and savings. আমরা consumption ফাংশনে কি পাই? Consumption and income এর মধ্যে পজিটিভ রিলেশন, equal to left side is called dependent variable, right side is called independent variable. Similarly, if we talk about saving function, S is a dependent variable because savings of a economy, or to be precisely savings of a consumer, depends on income, as like consumption of a consumer depends on income. Now, the most important one, that is it any doubt? APS. Key problem? APS is the ratio of savings to income. APC is the ratio of consumption to income. You are earning 100 rupees, consuming 80 rupees. That means what you are saving? 20 rupees. So earning 100, saving is 20. So this will give us 1. APS never ever be 1. You see, APS can never ever be equals to 1, because if APS is 1, it implies APC is 0, because the summation must be 1. Now, APC 0 1 মানে তো possible না, even without 0 level of income, even Y is 0, still there will be some level of consumption. আমরা আগের টেবিলেই দেখলাম। APC can be 1, can be more than 1, less than 1 to some extent, but APS can be 0, can be negative, but it cannot be more than equals to 1. Leave it more than 1, it is not even equals to 1. ঠিক আছে? Now, that we will understand now derivation of saving curve from the consumption curve. Derivation of savings curve from the consumption curve. Now, তোমাদের এক্সামে that derivation may come যদি এটা 4 marks, if it is given 4 marks, that means the demand of the question is diagrammatic. মানে যদি 4 মার্কস থাকে তার মানে ডায়াগ্রামেটিক্যাল ডেরিভেশনটা করবে। যদি এটা লেস দেন 4 মার্কস থাকে তার মানে জাস্ট একটা ভেরি বিগিনিং 2-3 লাইনস ইকুয়েশন ইউ হ্যাভ রিটেন না, 2-3 লাইনস ইকুয়েশন, লিসেন টু মি। যদি এটা 2 মার্কসের ডেরিভেশন থাকে, ইন দ্যাট কেস ডায়াগ্রাম ইজ নট রিকোয়ার্ড। জাস্ট গিভ মি দ্য কপি। You see, at the very beginning you have written 2-3 lines of mathematical derivation. That is enough for 2 marks. If it is more than 2 marks, either it would be 2 or 4. If it is 4, that means with mathematical, you need to give this diagram. Now, diagram explanation is up to you, how you will explain. That can be explained in 4-5 lines also. Acha. How mathematical and diagrammatic derivation is done, let us understand. We know S is equals to Y minus C. আমরা কি জানি, saving is equal to income minus consumption. Simple, clear? And consumption, that is C, is equal to autonomous consumption, C bar plus BY, where B stands for MPC and Y stands for national income. Clear? Now, this equation is clear. এটা তো তোমরা জানাই আছে, S is equal to Y minus C. How this is? আমরা when we draw an aggregate demand curve, if you can remember, at zero level of income, the consumption is called autonomous consumption. Clear? Once income started, when economy the income generation start also say 100, 200 like this, and at that point consumption or AD starts, that is not autonomous, that is C, only C. Clear? The first point at zero level of income, আমরা এটাকে C bar বলি। ঠিক আছে? So the equation, that is consumption, is equal to C bar plus BY. Now BY, because consumption is related to income, and if there is a change in income, it will lead to a change in consumption, and that is why here we write marginal propensity to consume, and it is, you know, তোমরা এখানে লিখতে পারো C bar plus MPC into Y, কোনো ব্যাপার না, just we write this C bar equals to C bar plus BY. Is it clear? দুটা ইকুয়েশন মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট, এই দুটা ইকুয়েশন মাথায় রাখবা, আমরা নিউমারিক্যাল সব এই ইকুয়েশনের উপরে। What are these two equations? One is savings equals to income minus consumption, and one is C is equal to C bar plus BY. If equal to left side, there is dependent variable. If we write C, listen carefully. If we write C, then this B stands for MPC. If we write here S, then B stands for MPS. Because once we write C, that is consumption is related to income, change in consumption, income is giving change in consumption. Similarly, if we write here S, and then same B we will write, but the meaning will change. That B stands for MPS. মনে থাকবো? Okay. Now, that C function, that is say equation 1 and 2, right, like this. That C we will write here, that is S is equal to Y minus C bar plus BY. Now, S is equal to YY, what we are doing, minus C bar plus Y minus BY, that plus minus. Now, S is equal to minus C bar plus Y 1 minus B. That is the mathematical derivation of savings function. Clear? Any doubt? Not understood? Simple. এটা কি বলবো আমি? S is equal to Y minus, in place of C we have written C bar plus BY. Now S is equal to that minus C bar we have written first. Just Y আর BY একটা কমন নেব, 1 minus B করব বলে ইন্টেনশনালি এটা করা। তো প্লাস Y plus a minus BY. Fine. Now minus C bar plus Y common, 1 minus B. Understood? Now simple thing. Achha. So this is the final savings function equation. যদি তোমার mathematical derivation চাই, how savings curve, saving function look, then এতটুকু sufficient. Am I clear? Now let's go to the এই দুটো equation, আর এটা কিন্তু খুব important রে। Now let us see diagrammatically এটা কিভাবে derive হয়, and for this we will draw two diagrams. Here are the two diagrams. You can say like this: upper panel, lower panel. Both the panel horizontal axis, we will measure income. Both the panel horizontal axis, we will measure income. Clear? Now listen. Question is, derive saving curve from the consumption curve. মানে আমরা সেভিংস কনজাম্পশন থেকে সেভিংস ড্র করব, ঠিক আছে? and that is why upper panel এ আমরা consumption curve draw করব, and in the lower panel we will draw savings curve. Let me repeat: two diagram, upper and lower. In both the diagram, in the horizontal axis we will measure income, but in the upper panel of the diagram, in the vertical axis we will measure consumption, and in the lower panel of the diagram we will measure savings. Clear? First we will draw income curve, or we know AS is equal to Y. সবাই বুঝতে পারবে কি কইয়ার? একদম টেকনিক্যাল জিনিস, ভালো করিয়া শুনো। এই ডায়াগ্রামটা কি বা ইকুয়েশনটা কি নিউমারিক্যাল, এমসিকিউ, অ্যাসারশন, রিজনিং এর অভাব নাই। কোয়েশ্চেন বিভিন্ন রকম হইতে পারে। প্রপার্টিজ, এপিসি, এমপিসি, এপিএস, এমপিএস এর প্রপার্টিজ, তার ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল যে 3-4 লাইন্স ডেরিভেশন, দেন ডায়াগ্রাম, মানে লটস অফ কোয়েশ্চেনস আর দেয়ার। আমরা করবো কিছু, বাট স্টিল এত কোয়েশ্চেন হইতে পারে যে কোয়েশ্চেন বানাইয়া শেষ করা যেত না। সো আনসার এক্সামে কতটা করতে পারবে, টোটালি ডিপেন্ডস অন ইউর লেভেল অফ আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং। সো লেট মি রিপিট: টু ডায়াগ্রামস, আপার এন্ড লোয়ার, horizontal axis income, vertical axis upper panel consumption, lower panel savings. Now we will draw a income curve or aggregate supply curve, which is 45-degree angle line, যেটা আমরা সেকেন্ড কোয়েশ্চেন থেকে আমরা দেখছি। aggregate supply or income is increasing at a constant rate every time. Income increases, or national income increases at a constant rate. That is why it is a 45-degree angle line. Then we will draw a consumption curve, that is C, which looks like this. How C looks like? C looks like this. Clear? That is flattered to x-axis or horizontal axis, but it is not 45-degree angle, not vertical, not horizontal. মানে C এইরকম হবে না, C এইরকম হবে না, C will not look like this. C will be flatter to x-axis like this. Clear? Now that is the point of interaction where C is equals to Y or APC is equals to 1. ঠিক আছে? Before the intersecting point, we find that C is more than Y. Before the intersecting point, what we find? C is more than Y. That is, APC is more than 1. Clear? Clear? After the intersecting point, we find C is less than Y. That is, APC is less than 1. Understand? Understand? Now, a intersecting point, we will draw a perpendicular straight, which will touch the lower panel of the x-axis. Clear? যেখানে সেটা x-axis এর টাচ হবে, we will draw the savings curve, and that is our savings. Now at this point, when APC is 1, at this point APS is 0. Before the intersecting point, say the point E, আমরা দেখতে পাই C is more than Y, that is APS is more than 1, that is APS is negative, and this situation or this area is called the area of dissaving. What is called? area of this saving, that is saving is negative. Now here saving is not negative, not positive, S is equals to 0 because consumption is equals to 1 or consumption is equal to Y. যখন এই পয়েন্ট থেকে ক্রস করলো, what we find C is more than less than Y, that is APS is less than 1. So this area says the area of saving. Am I clear? Let me repeat. ডায়াগ্রামের নিচে যা এক্সপ্লানেশন লেখছো তোমরা লিভ ইট. What I am now saying, try to understand. We have drawn একদম minutely বুঝো. We have drawn two diagrams, upper and lower. Both the diagram horizontal axis measures income. Upper panel vertical axis measures consumption. Lower panel vertical axis measures savings. Okay. Upper panel we have drawn an aggregate supply curve or income curve, that is AS or Y, and then we have drawn a consumption curve which looks like AD, aggregate demand curve. Now the point where Y and C intersect, that point shows break even point. That point shows C is equals to Y. That point shows APS is 1. Now যেখানে intersect করলো, from that point draw a straight dotted line which will touch the lower panel of the horizontal axis. After touching the horizontal axis of the lower panel, from that panel we will draw a savings curve which must be a negative because savings can be negative. Now again we will go to the upper panel. The point before the point of interaction Y and C, what we find, C is more than Y because we can clearly see that consumption curve is above the income curve, which says that consumption is more than income. Now if consumption is more than income, that is APS is more than 1, in that case APS would be negative. Now that shaded area is APS negative or the area of this saving. আমরা কোয়েশ্চেনের ফোকাস কিন্তু এই এরিয়াটাতেই, that area is called this savings. Now the lower panel OX axis যে পয়েন্ট টাচ করলো, that point saving is 0. Once from 0 point savings curve extended, savings become positive, that there is a saving generation starts in the economy. Because how saving generation starts? Because upper panel of the diagram shows that now consumption comes below the national income, that is aggregate consumption comes below the national income. Now যখন aggregate consumption national income এর নিচে এসে গেল, তার মানে APC is less than 1. If APC is less than 1, APS must have any positive value. APC suppose 0.7, so APS is 0.3, APC is 0.9, then APS is 0.1. যখনই Y ইনকামটা কনজাম্পশন থেকে বেশি আছে বা কনজাম্পশন ইনকাম থেকে কম আছে, পজিটিভ কিছু সেভিংস ইকোনমিতে হবে. That is, this shaded area is called the area of dis-savings or negative savings. This point give a name, for example, I don't know diagram e ki dewa, say R, and this point is called zero savings. After this point the positive saving starts. Now আমরা যদি এই পয়েন্টস গুলারে জয়েন করি, we will get say S R S. If we join these 3 points, we will get a curve, and the curve is called savings curve. ঠিক আছে? So by this way we derive savings curve from the consumption curve. Now তোমরা যখন আনসার প্রিপেয়ার করবে, what is written in your explanation, leave it, just try to understand what I have said. কিছু না, all these things you can write in 5 lines. এত যে ডিটেইলস ইলাস্ট্রেশন কিছু না. 2 panel consumption and savings, 2 curve upper panel, one is Y, one is consumption, intersecting point, draw a perpendicular dotted line which will touch the lower panel of that x-axis, then you join another line which will become the savings curve. Now that intersection point APC is 1, so exactly নিচেরটাতে APS 0. Before APC is equals to 1, there is a more consumption than income. That is, there is a dis-saving in the lower panel. After APC is 1, there is a savings. I mean, there is a less consumption than income. That is, APC is less than 1. In that case, there will be a positive savings. Am I clear?